And we are live on the SideQuest, your weekly journey into the wonderful world of video games, video game culture, and everything in between, betwixt.
Betwixt is betwixt. No, I can't.
Betwixt sounds
Yeah,
mighty not
yeah,
great.
yeah.
I'm Dolly. That's JJ. Let's talk about video games where things are happening. How you doing, man? Doing all right?
Oh, yeah, doing fine.
Okay, fine
We're
is
getting,
good.
we're getting close. We're getting close to PAX every day.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, we are. Boo. Late. It's funny because I named this episode "Better Late Than on Time," uh, which is totally okay. Yeah, we are getting close to PAX with so many things happening, like lots of stuff happening. Emails are happening of folks wanting to get a hold of us. Would you like to come check out our games at PAX? We'd love to, but we're trying to keep our time frames open. So
Yeah.
Don't
worry. We'll see your game.
Yeah. I ended up getting a message today back from someone for, I think, Crimson Desert. I was going to go see. I'm like, I'll check out Crimson Desert. It looks pretty cool. So I replied back to them like yesterday. And they got back to me today. And they're like, yeah, hey, listen, everything's filled up till Sunday morning. I'm like, ain't going to be there Sunday. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, folks. We are out. Yeah, we're sticking around till the majority of us are sticking around. I think all of us sticking around through Saturday, and that's essentially
like wheels up at like 5 o'clock for me on Saturday.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are heading to the airport, probably Ubering all together.
Yeah, we'll just split an Uber to Logan.
Yeah, there you go. But it'll be a good time. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see it. Yeah, we're like about a week away, 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
2 weeks from tomorrow, I'm flying out there. Yeah. We're all flying out there. Yeah, so it'll be good.
I'm like 2 weeks to I'm flying out Tuesday night, red eye.
So I
get there at like 8 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday.
Yeah, you're the first.
Yeah.
Whew, man. Do they not have like earlier flights or?
It's just better for me. I'll just sleep. just sleep on the flight completely.
Yeah.
Ignore the time shift, and when I get there at 8, and I can just kind of hang out until everyone starts rolling in, which is usually what I do. It's how I've done it every year so far.
That's true.
So I get Wednesday gets to be my I'm not doing anything day. Do my grocery shopping for the hotel room.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I think my brother and I show up, and then I think Taylor shows up like within like a half hour or so after us. So
you get a little more wiggle room to timing than I get. So it's like
it was. It's good. I like that first day. There's actually plenty going on. Okay, here inside baseball. I'm looking at the party list, but there's actually plenty going on. I'm gonna share. I'm gonna present the screen so y'all can see it too. Why not? We can talk PAX before. Talk shop. Yeah, here it is. The Ultimate PAX East 2025 party list. Yeah, you can, of course, if you want to get a hold of us and show your party on our list, which several people have been doing now over the last like week and a half. They're all messaging, which is cool. But if you are in town earlier that week, Boston Game Dev Week is actually happening, which is really cool. It's sort of this new initiative they're starting up to get a lot of the local Boston area game developers to do talks, to do there's like sessions and panels, all that kind of stuff taking place. So that's really cool. It's over at the Microsoft Nerd Center where they used to host a lot of cool like actual PAX related things were there.
Yeah.
So but that's cool. That's happening all week. Obviously, the Boston Indies night, the demo night is really. I'm glad they brought that back. That used to be the Mass Diggy night. I think that's what it was called. Massachusetts Diggy or whatever that was.
Yeah.
But that's kind of gone, and now this is sort of taking it over, the Boston Indies night. So that'll be cool. It's free.
Is that the one that like had all the pizza that we went to that one time?
That was the Mass Diggy. Yeah, that had all the really not that great. Sorry, Boston, your pizza sucks. I'm from Detroit. We know great pizza. And
we don't have our own. We just steal everyone else's.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what the Seattle pizza is. I'm sure it's something disgusting. I'm sure it's got cream cheese on it, like the hot dog. That's the Seattle dog is a hot dog with cream cheese. That's a Seattle dog.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. We have a Detroit dog. It's a chili dog, is what we do here. But it's called the Coney dog, which is like a chili dog, but with like a very specific type of layers of. It's almost. I mean, it really is like it's not chili. It's like this muddy. Diuretic looking stuff. It's
it's like beanless chili. It's just it's just spice mud. It's great.
It's spice. Oh, I like that spice mud. That's good. Yeah. That's basically what that is. Yeah, it's like a ground it all up. But we have that. That's yummy stuff.
Seafood, I guess it's sort of Seattle's only, like, the greater Pacific Northwest's major claim to fame is just we do seafood. But who doesn't do seafood? If you're a coastal state, you have seafood. We're going to Boston. Seafood.
So anyways, there, you can see that event there. Boston Indies. Check that one out. You also have there's the Indie RPG game night and PAX meetup. It's like a tabletop night. Over at, I think it's called SideQuest Books. No relation, to us, but SideQuest Books and games. How many
SideQuest things there are out there? Because out by PAX West, there's a SideQuest tattoo.
Yep. And then there's that same night. This is all happening Wednesday as a Make Games with Friends. And then so that's the first night we show up. Other than that, we're gonna hang out at the Westin lobby bar, which is basically
my room.
Yeah, your room, my room. Like several of us are at the Westin, which is great. So just hanging out. But Thursday, the big party, the SideQuest post, the PPP, P3, 3P post PAX party. But it'll be spice mud. It'll be a good time.
You got to do PPP, the PowerPoint presentation. Like you just got to. You get in there, and all of a sudden you pull out a white screen.
All right, everybody, we're gonna learn about getting your taxes done on time next year. No, what's funny is like I went back and looked at the amount of attendees we've had every year. The first year we had like 60 something. I took PTO in case I can go. Good. 0, excellent. We would love to have you.
Just one night.
Just check it out there for one night. It'll be blast. And there are rooms. There are plenty of rooms.
I've got a floor.
He's got a floor. Yeah, the floor.
You do not get the bed, but you will get a hell of a discount. You slip a $50 bill in my palm. You might be able to sleep on.
There you go. But only a $50 bill. Don't put something else in his palm.
Yeah.
No, but it was funny because we were on the Patreon feed. We have this little inside game ball. Inside baseball, inside game ball. And I was noting how we started this party, which was 2022 because there wasn't PAX in 2021. So they brought it back in 2022. And we decided, you know what? There are no parties happening. Let's see if we can organize something. Let's see if there's anything out there. Just like a meetup. I was just going to do a meetup at a bar is really what it was. So I'm like, okay, what bars allow like little meetups to happen? I don't want to charge anybody. I don't want to pay for anything because I'm broke. So we have a Patreon going. So I checked around and I'm like, they have those like win a party at your bar. Like every city has this, every bar has this. And all it is like,
put your business card in the fishbowl.
It's literally put your business card in a fishbowl and you win a party. Well, this is the digital business card, aka email them, and maybe you'll win. No, you'll totally win because they're just starving for anybody to show up at their events. But the reason that they give you that is so you can get on their mailing list. So I emailed them and I'm like, hey, I'd love to win a party, and I won it. And they said, how many people are you expecting? I'm like, I don't know, 25. Well, that first year we ended up having because there was nothing else happening that Thursday night, we ended up having 65 people or something like that. And then we're like, okay, that was a good number. And that was like minimal advertising. It was just a blog post and the party list. And so I'm like, let's do the second night.
That was 21, right? It was
20, that was 22. 22. Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't remember. It
was PAX to the moon. PAX to the moon. And and then the second one, I think word spread because Howl at the Moon is a great venue who have just a killer live band who will play. They'll play music, but then they'll also play requests, and everybody was having them play the Pokemon.
Yeah, you just
theme
PayPal
song.
them a few bucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
No. And they'll play whatever your request is. Yeah. So I think it's like $4 or $3, whatever, $4 or $5. Anyway, so the second year we had like double. It was like 125. We're like, all right, that's awesome. So from 65 to like 125, that was a good bump. I was ecstatic. I don't know if did you go, JJ, the second year?
No.
No, and you didn't go the first year.
I did the first year, and I attempted to do year 3.
That's right. You couldn't do year 3. So let's do it again. Year 3, they actually contacted us for year 3. They said, "Hey, are you guys interested in having this event again?" Because it was around, I think PAX was around the same weekend.
Yeah,
in March. We're like, yeah, no problem. We'll for sure. I was going to reach out to them. They reached out to us. I'm like, yeah, definitely, we'll do it. And they said, how many people are you expecting? I'm like, well, how many people did we have last year? 125. Let's expect around that much again. So I set up an Eventbrite the first, I think the second year I set it up for the first time, but I set up that last year, the Eventbrite, and just to get us like a head count of how we were doing. I kept having, I set it up at one.
Listen, we're a bunch of people that just like metrics.
It totally is. And I love numbers. We love metrics. And we are such a number of people. We're nerds for numbers, N for N. And I set it at 125, thinking if we can hit that 125 number, beautiful. That means we're on pace. And again, no one needs to do the Eventbrite, by the way. If you're watching, you don't need to do the Eventbrite. It's strictly just for us to understand headcount. And if there are companies that want to do giveaways and stuff, then we can give them a number of tentative how we're expecting. So started at 125. Maybe I started at 100, then bumped up to when 100 sold out. I bumped up to 125. Like this was all within the first 2 weeks, or the 2 weeks before the event. Then from 125, it went to like 150. Then it went to like 170. I kept bumping up by 25. It felt like every other day, and they would just keep selling out, and it'll go sold out. So finally, I cut it off at like 200. And we got to, I think the final count of people that showed up was 232 people last year. So it's like basically almost doubled every single year, which is awesome.
I listen, I am an extreme introvert. My social battery is a massive low. That I never do any of the parties because I can't.
Sure. That's totally understandable.
I do my best to do at least this one. Like last year was extenuating circumstances. I was not doing well.
Well, Taylor didn't go either. I don't think Taylor. I think it was just Sam and I and Sam's wife, maybe.
Yeah.
Sam's spouse, his partner. I'm not, maybe Taylor did go. I can't remember.
I can't remember. Was
Johnny. Tom went. Tom came. I think maybe Johnny. Yeah, Johnny did go. Anyways, we did have a group of people. We ended up having like a good table's worth. It's funny because our party and it's like really we're just there to enjoy it.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine having to deal with like an actual event.
Yeah, I've done actual events. So SideQuesting held a party way back at like PAX 2013 or 2012. We called it Versus, but I spelled it VS. Yeah, Secret Santa. That's who Secret Santa Withholding Tom. And people thought it was a Victoria's Secret party. It was not a Victoria's Secret party. We had like all of 15 people show up. But there were so many events going on. But it was mostly SideQuesting and joystick folk. And that's when Jordan Mallory had just finished at SideQuesting and got, hey, there's Sam. Sam. That's when Jordan, how's it going, Sam?
Hello, friends. Very good.
Very good. We're just discussing the history of the SideQuesting party.
A good time.
No, and so like 2012 or 2013, whatever it was when Jordan Mallory, I think he had just finished at SideQuesting and was, made it to the big leagues at joystick. So he was doing like a lot. He was rapping. He like grabbed mic and did a whole set. And it was freaking awesome. Jordan Mallory was freaking awesome. Dude could spit rhymes like you wouldn't believe. And then, we didn't do one since after that until, the 2022. But I was just telling him, Sam, last year we had 232 people show up. And this year, so the reason I'm saying is this year already we have, we're still 2 weeks away, over 2 weeks away. We already have 170 people out of the 250 that I've listed. So 170 people have already like registered, which is like super nice. So I'm pretty I'm pretty stoked for all that. So yeah.
The thing is, they'll probably that they'll probably show up.
Yep. What the? Hold on a second. I don't know what I'm hearing here. Somebody speak.
Hello.
Check 1 2. Hello.
Check.
Talk again.
Hello.
This is us talking. Hello.
We're talking.
Something is so wild. It sounds like you guys are behind me.
Wow. All right.
You don't have your like headset on backwards for some reason, do you? Like a weirdo.
Oh, you know what it might be? It is. I have my mouse plugged in, and it sent the audio in the tizzy, and it literally does sound like That's why I kept taking my headphones off. I'm like, what is going on here? Oh, it's just my battery is low, so I plugged it in. What the hell is going on here? Yeah, sorry about this, folks. I'll be prepared. I have to find out what my audio. It really does sound like you guys are right behind me. Do I sound okay?
Yeah,
you sound fine. Yeah,
you haven't changed an inch.
It sounds like you guys are in my room. This is freaking me out. Oh my Lord! What is going on?
Look under your desk. No.
See, it's okay. Don says everybody. The Ramen Don says everything sounds fine on the stream. That's good. That's good to know. I don't know why you guys are behind me. I don't know what's going on with this audio. This is bizarre.
It's just a you thing, my buddy.
It is just me. So I've got to figure this out. And audio output. What the heck? Spatial sound. Okay, we'll keep going. I'll figure this out.
You're a human being.
There we go. Wait, I got it. I don't know what happened. I unplugged and plugged back in. Anyways, SideQuest, join us for the post-PAX party. Maybe we'll do some like quick live streaming from there. We are going to have our panel earlier in the day. That'll be a lot of fun.
What, 3:30? That's not earlier in the day. That's halfway through the show.
True, it is a halfway through the day. Yeah, exactly.
It's really a pre-PAX party.
It kind of is. Thursday. Yeah. Post-PAX, post office. But there are a bunch of other events going on. If you like, it's always a lot of fun. Friday is a big
crawl.
Yeah, there's always poker crawl, which is great. It's always poker crawl is awesome because it's a charity thing that they always set up. So definitely check out the poker crawl. But also the Warframe was really popular. The Warframe was really popular this year. I didn't get tickets. I decided not to. I was going to be a good person.
Somebody else have them.
Yeah, but I did get tickets for this event, the PAX East Industry. It's like, why not? Check it out. There's it says there's going to be drinks, good vibes, and food. I think they said food is going to be included as well. So open bar and small bites. I'm only there for the small bites because anytime there's free food, let's go for it. And I also grabbed. I'm also going to be heading to our good friends at Twitch Boston and Sonic Boombox are throwing their party that Friday night. I think I'm going to head to that because it's always a good group of folks.
I wish I did that.
Yeah, I know. That's a big social one right there. 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. So I won't be that. I won't be able to handle that one. But that'll be a good one if you're in town. But literally, all these events are great. Really, you cannot miss out on any. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of these. Like I can vouch for. Like this one sounds really cool. The Chapo Tour, Tokyo Machine. Yeah. So that is a badass concert to go to. So that is one for funny. Sure. And a great location. Mid-East Club is awesome too.
If you go back to their gig poster, I could literally go to their first show and
and then still go to the Boston show like the very next. That's awesome. That's true. That is true.
I should see where that's at. I gotta
and then Saturday you got the Warcraft party, the Game After party, and I'm sure there's gonna be more that are coming up here. I'm gonna guess there's probably a couple more events will be announced within the next week or so, and we'll go from there. This is my PAX 2, one of my PAX 2 hats. I got 3 hats, a different hat each day. So this is probably the first day. So JJ, if you end up getting this hat, do not wear it on that first day.
It wouldn't get here by time anyways, probably.
Yeah, I'm a big Detroiter, Danhausen.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be wearing the hat. But so PAX East 2 weeks away. JJ, you'll be flying out shortly within 2 weeks. So that's good.
Nice.
That is good. Yeah. let's get into a little bit of news that is out there that I wanted to cover. It's actually been really interesting because there have been a ton of showcases. So we're not going to get into all the showcases, but I think the triple I was a couple weeks ago, and then there was a couple like the Galaxies was last week, and there's just a bunch of stuff's happening.
Still getting emails about the Galaxies thing. Like
totally,
people are still sending us emails about their game being shown at cool. Galaxies.
I'm good with it. I'm good with it. But there were a couple little things. There's one that I definitely wanted to get into, and that will be something very relevant to all three of us because we like racing games, and we're Mario Kart players. So we finally got the details on Mario Kart World with the new all the free roam, the Grand Prix stuff, the new items. I'm gonna hit the play button. It's kind of cool. I'm super stoked for this. Like, I am a Mario Kart holic. Played them all, and even the one where you have to build the cardboard pieces. I played the remote control car off the ramps that only works indoors. But yeah, I'm. This looks so sick. This is Mario Kart Horizon. But Sam, did you get a chance to watch this direct at all?
Yeah. Okay. And I mean, you mentioned Mario Kart Horizon, but like it's seemingly like even more than that. Like it seems like it's really essentially a Mario game where your motion is vehicles, and also, hey, all that Mario Kart stuff you're used to, that's also here, including it. It's like almost like in some ways, like I've been talking to people about, like some ways it feels like almost bad because it almost is like doing like what Breath of the Wild did for Zelda. It's kind of like taking like the Zelda formula and forcing an open world on it. And this is kind of like taking Mario Kart and forcing an open world on it. But that's, I mean, I say that's not a bad thing. But it does like then ask, like, you know, it sort of then asks the question in the long run. It's like, where do you go from this then? Like, you know, does DLC happen? What does DLC look like? Does a Mario Kart exist after Mario Kart World, right?
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, I if we're just talking about the game, though, it looks incredible. You know, I want to experience it a little bit too, just because with 24 racers, a lot of these tracks do look pretty wide. So there's maybe some questions about that and about difficulty. And obviously, I'm sure we're not seeing some of the more difficult tracks in the advertising since they're trying to market it to everybody. But certainly like the new motion stuff, being able to hold the boost and do like basically like a little turbo jump that then allows you to trick or then use that to get onto a rail or onto a wall. And yeah, it's really like they basically showed in the demo using the like course, like not how it's laid out, basically like cheating the course by using like walls and all types of things. So like their whole mission here is like, instead of people finding the shortcuts that like destroy the game and stuff like that, it's like, no, everything's a shortcut if you're willing to take the risk. And with the rewind feature, like it mentioned in the demo that you can't use that online and stuff like that, but you're going to have people basically doing the same stuff that they do for like the skate games and coming up with like just the nastiest lines to be able to like move through the environment or to move through races as fast as possible. So like it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be completely nuts.
I think all the cool stuff that you'll be able to do with like I mean, one thing I'm hopeful for, let me just say, it isn't so much the stuff that's currently in the game, it's the post updates. Like what are we going to get that makes this that long-term proposition? Because like you're spending $80. Some people are spending $80 for this. And I have a feeling the game will probably never will rarely be $80. I think it'll, you know, I don't know if Nintendo will drop the price or whatever they'll do later on, but everybody's gonna be buying this with their Switch, right? With their Switch 2. And you're asking for $80 for people. And yeah, you're giving a big giant open world, a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of development went into this. The file size is massive and But yeah, to Ramadan's point, we'll get an extra world DLC that adds extra space continent, Super Mario World. I would have wanted to see a roadmap of, hey guys, here's what we're planning. I mean, you don't have to like tell me the details, but you can say we're planning in the future to add new features or new tracks or new racers. Like, just tell me that. Just will they? I'm sure they will. I'm sure they're gonna have some really cool stuff, because that's what's kept Mario Kart 8 Deluxe so vibrant, is because they've added so many aspects to it that keep things going. They had that 24 course track or whatever that was, 36 course track. I don't know, whatever, 48. It was 48 courses, whatever it is. But I want something like that for this. But for $80, I want it to be included. I don't want to be paying extra for that.
Oh, well, tough shit.
Tough shit. There's Nintendo. But yeah, what's the future look like for this game? And I know they don't want to announce it. They want to make sure that, hey, guess what, guys? You're paying for the game as it is today. You're not paying for the future. I understand that, Nintendo, but $80, is a tough pill to swallow right now.
About Pauline and latex. How about that?
Sold. You know what? Forget everything I just said.
And there's clearly stuff that we're not like directly being told. Like, we have been told about like the outfits, but like, does every single like character get the Western outfit or the like, the
do I
Japanese
get
outfit or whatever? Yeah, like do I get latex Goomba if I get latex Wario? Or latex Pow is what I'm talking about, right?
But yeah.
And then I mean, the other thing is, like, other than you can do all this stuff online, you're telling me that there's this huge open world that I can't run into other people like online. It's only my friends. And also like there's no like, there doesn't seem to be any sort of like weekly like tournament or like weekly challenges and stuff like that. And some of that stuff was in Mario Kart 8, but like they even mentioned specifically, like there's routes that you can run in this that's not built into the sort of specific cups. Like, are we going to see like, a weekly, like, trophy challenge or whatever? And it's like those custom routes like built for online play and stuff like that. So like, there could be like places to grow, but in like typical like Nintendo fashion, like we basically got shown what would be like, this is what they would show for like the Switch trailer if like this was just a normal game that was coming out for the Switch.
Sure.
We didn't really get, other than I guess we can have the cameras for people locally, that we didn't really get much of a Switch 2 feature set other than the 24 racers and it being a new game. But it was just a sort of, typical games thing. So, is there other Switch 2 features like with this? They mentioned about like the game sharing stuff. They didn't mention, is that a possibility? But like they kind of mentioned this game while they were talking about that.
Is there a mouse mode in this? Could you make, are there those aspects that, because the Switch debut trailer specifically showed little mice racing around and Mario Kart in the background.
So I thought you were asking if Mouser was in the game for a second.
Oh, Mouser. Oh, yeah. Acknowledge Mouser.
But I could see them trying to do like tank controls, you know what I mean? With like two mice where you're doing like up and down for like steering. Sure. But they do mention the Joy-Con wheels because, sure.
Hey, listen, there are just enough people out there that think they need that.
Yeah.
Well, it makes you feel like you're actually driving. I don't know how you would.
How would you not use those?
Yeah, it feels like you're.
My nephews use those.
It really feels like you're driving a Tesla.
It's but I mean it's good for. Well, you're not gonna explode. Well, you can explode, I guess.
I would say.
And the other thing is, like, if this system is going to be hard to find right off the bat, or there's going to be, it's going to be in limited, or with the tariffs and stuff like that, people might be making the choice not to get it at launch and to wait for later or something. So like having a rich online feature set in your game at launch, which could suggest that it would have a rich online feature set. But then to not talk about that, other than you can meet up with your friends and race them, like seems like kind of weird, because they didn't even really talk about being able to run through the open world with them. They're like, it might just look like the open world, but it's where you meet your friends. Okay, so can I do those challenges while I'm waiting for my friends or with my friends?
Apparently, I don't know if you can. Maybe I don't know.
So
I know you can roam. You can roam and take pictures and that kind of stuff. But beyond that,
can we both try to do like some like blue coin collection challenge?
Maybe
and try to set like high scores there. Like that's the type of stuff that wasn't answered by this. Like it's cool that we have that, but like, what's the limitations of it?
In Nintendo fashion, it'll just be that they think it's cool. You can drive around with your friends and then kind of have it be that.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of times where Nintendo is like on the verge of a great idea that they just sort of gimp on their own, through their Nintendo ways. So,
did they ever confirm split screen for free roam? I think they said four-player split screen.
So they at least physically showed two players, but it does assume, like I have seen posted somewhere that it is 4-player. Okay. But I don't know. I will say that I also saw confirmed that you can use Switch One like Pro controllers and Joy-Cons on the Switch 2, which will be important at launch if these accessories are as limited as it appears to be.
Yeah.
So like, because at most you're only playing with 2 people if you only get the one Joy-Con per person.
Definitely. Well, let's sort of segue. I think this is a good segue.
Yeah, Sam, you made a good segue there.
You made a really good segue. They had finally announced the date for pre-orders, which is this Thursday, April 24th, taking place at basically midnight everywhere. Obviously, they're not raising the price, which is good.
Midnight Eastern, so 9 p.m. Wednesday
9 p.m. for me. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice for you Western folk. No, console price staying the same for now. They did make the note at launch. At launch, the price for Nintendo Switch 2 in US will remain as announced on April 2nd.
Yeah.
At launch, a lot of heavy lifting with that one.
Yeah.
But I think
Nintendo's
later in
idea of a launch window is a living document.
I think they mentioned later that they're not ruling out the price changes. They have raised prices on almost all the accessories by $5.
$95 for a pair of Joy-Cons, which after sales tax is well over $100 for an extra controller.
For you guys, yeah. We're like right at $100.
It is 11% sales tax.
Woo! 6% Michigan. You gotta move to Michigan, man. We're the best state ever. But no, that's not a pretty thing. Again, though, you're going to need them if you have more than 2 people in your household playing. But these prices, these are all in all because of the tariffs, right? This is why, because they weren't sure what was going to happen, and all of a sudden they get these big price bumps. However, they're keeping it to $5 because I feel like they're saying, okay, we're going to do $5 right now because we're not even sure that these tariffs are going to hold up very long either. But we need to prepare for whatever's happening just in case. And we don't know how long this trade war is going to last. I don't think it'll last too long into late spring, but you can never tell these days. Never tell. Technically hasn't even started yet. I think it starts in the beginning of May now. It's like all hourly things change. But so these prices did go up. Game prices did not change. Game prices are all over the board, by the way. You have Nintendo Mario Kart at $80. Like, okay, fine. We knew the games were gonna go up to $79.99. It's just that is just logistics of how things work. I will say this. I want to put a stop to this stupid comparison of the games that we've had to pay for in the 90s. It's like I paid $75 for Final Fantasy 3 on the Super NES. By today's standard, that's like $300. Dude, completely different, because we bought one game for like 6 months back in the night when we were young. It was.
Well, I was talking about it the other day. The thing, we've all been like, so many people have been just sort of priced out of video games entirely.
Yeah.
Growing up, I got my one game, and then every Friday night I got to rent something.
Exactly. You cannot rent games now.
There is zero path to rental for video games. I mean, you can still rent movies. It may be digital, but you can still rent movies.
I really feel like a game rental service.
Yeah,
like,
and I'm like,
here's a weekend worth of whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like,
is GameFly not still alive?
Yeah, GameFly's still alive, but it's kind of like, you know, it's sort of pricing itself out, and it's not as it's just kind of, it's not going to be around for much longer.
I would use GameFly to buy the used games, basically.
Yeah, they were great.
I mean, that's how I use GameFly, but
and like, we sort of like early on, and then sort of like everyone's trying to figure out digital console sales and stuff, like how that stuff works. Like, we would make fun of anyone even attempting to try like a limited time rental service for games, like because it was something that was being tested out on handfuls. I think Sony did it for a hot minute.
Did they?
And like, you know, and then like on live and those digital streaming platforms would let you like rent games, you know. It's just like there's a pathway to do it, but like nobody's really interested in it, and it's everyone's too worried about like, well, once you let them have full digital access to a video game, they're just gonna steal it. They're just gonna like they'll gonna
download it. Yeah, they'll find a way to
which is why it really only works for consoles. There's really no PC version of that, like, you know. But like Nintendo could absolutely just like, because the cloud games, like when you stream the Resident Evil games on the Switch, you can just stream it for the weekend.
Yeah.
Like, if you wanted to, you could just pay for like a weekend pass to play the cloud game.
And maybe they have that for every one of their, I don't know, maybe they do something like that. But it's a different thing right now. You cannot compare apples. It's not apples to apples. Now, granted, $80 right now is expensive. But by comparison, my daughter almost exclusively plays free-to-play gacha games because for her, there's story, there is phenomenal character design, there's great art, there is plenty of action, and there are little things to do. And again, it's free and it's on the device she already the device, by the way, that cost way more than a Switch and an Xbox and a PlayStation and all that. It costs more than a PlayStation Pro. But we say people are getting priced out. No, we're getting priced out of traditional games. But mobile, my nephews almost exclusively play mobile games as well, Roblox and all that kind of stuff. So
let's be honest with this. Something like Roblox or any single one of the Hoyo games, or you know, so many of these things are all infinitely better than half the stuff we rented at Blockbuster.
Oh, for sure. Just like Quest, Roblox or Fester's Quest. I mean,
like, it's like, sure, I could play, you know, the Olympic Games again. Or
was it the Bible game? I think I rented that once, and because there was nothing else left that I hadn't rented before.
No,
you're very right.
It's like,
so.
Games were by and large worse when
they were worse, and they were few and far between.
And they got to price them as if it was a Super Mario game because there was no precedent. It was a fancy new video game. If you could trick one family member, because there was no internet, there was no research, the best you could hope for is that your kid happens to tell you what they want, or you've seen it in a magazine. And that's the best.
So like I just want to make, put that to rest. You can't really compare those. So in that comparison, however, are games expensive? Yes. Does that mean people are there? I don't know if people are priced out of games, but I think it will make people more conscious of
people are far less able to experiment than you used to be able to.
With the games they purchase, yes.
Even with, like, because you used to be able to rent, so you can. You're like, I kind of want this game, but I either have to spend $80 and hope it's good, and or I could spend $6, rent it for the weekend, find out it's good, and then ask for it for Christmas or whatever. You don't get to experiment that way, especially on consoles anymore. There's there's virtually no return policy on digital games on either console. Like there is for like special purposes, but like you're not getting anything back from Nintendo if you hate the game that you got. And I mean, Steam's got a great refund. You can experiment a lot better on PC because of Steam's very forgiving refund policy.
Sam, so let me ask you guys a question. Are you guys pre-ordering the Switch at midnight on?
Yeah, I'll be cozy up in my bed at 9 p.m. on Wednesday.
A9 for you. Sam, are you staying up at midnight to pre-order?
I'm certainly gonna try to.
Yeah,
I wish we could hear back from that like Nintendo thing.
Yeah, before then, right?
Directly from them. Yeah. Because I almost feels like it's going to be one of those situations where like a couple people are going to be able to get it and then also get it straight from Nintendo, and it's like, well, I'm not going to cancel my pre-order the other way.
Yeah.
So like, I just feel like I mean, Nintendo's not going to do it, but it would be nice.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I'm gonna try a pre-order.
I want my pre-order to be through like Best Buy or
me too.
Or
I want that for points.
For points, sure, but I also don't want to be charged on Thursday.
I agree.
You know full well Nintendo's gonna make you pay up front
right away. Every other company like Walmart, Target, they don't charge you until it's ready to ship, which is great. But Nintendo is like, we're gonna do it right now. I'm also pre-ordering, and I'm hoping the Nintendo. Here's my fear, is that everybody. I'm gonna first lay out my fear, and then I'll give you guys some tips. Everybody on the planet is choosing that Mario Kart bundle.
Of course.
So if you had that under my Nintendo thing, good luck, because they've already sent those systems over to the US. They're already allotted, and who knows? I know a lot of people don't actually have that 50-hour mark, surprisingly. So sucks to be you, and you're not paying for the online and expansion pack, all that stuff. So sucks for you. We're good. My fear is that everybody's going for the Mario Kart one, and that's why I'm not going to get it through Nintendo. Here's my tip. When you're ordering at any of these, obviously get logged in like an hour plus ahead of time. Be ready. Make sure you have an account at whatever you're going to try. And you're going to have to try all these, right? You can try one or two of them. Whichever one goes through first, you're good to go. But only order one. Only order the Switch. Do not add the accessories onto that order, because as things have to cycle through their back end, every time you add an item on there, it has to go through the system and the cart and get all that stuff. You're going to have a harder time of it actually hitting when you hit that checkout button. So just order the Switch and then go back and order the Pro Controller or the extra Joy-Con or the camera or whatever. Don, he got into that playtest program, which we haven't heard anything about since November. But apart from all the leaks that came out, so now you're sure, but who knows? Who knows? Hoping for you. That's my tip. Order your Switch first, and then later on go in and get those accessories if you want to, or in games or whatever. But just do the Switch by itself. I'm
optimistic. I don't know. I'm not glass half full. I feel pretty good about It's not like I'm going to try at 9 my time and just be there, be ready. I got a couple of people. I'm like, listen, here's what I need from you.
Mom, grandma.
Mom is already on the hook. She's ready and prepared.
Of supposedly how many Switches are in America, right now, Switch 2s. If that number is like supposedly accurate, like they're banking on this thing like being an absolute like banger of the sales, like day
huge
one.
Numbers.
And on I was gonna say on the same note, as you were saying with the Mario Kart, if you're fine with it, don't get the Mario Kart bundle.
Yeah,
Get the normal
yeah.
Switch. Fewer people are going after the normal
That's
one.
what I'm saying.
It's
Fewer
very,
people are going
very,
after it. Yeah.
it's very,
Well,
very
and
important to
I
get
would
one.
almost say that, like, my advice is, like, since it is confirmed that, like, all the controllers and stuff work from the Switch. Well, not all the controllers, but
Yeah.
at least most of the first party stuff works from Switch 1 to Switch 2. Like, unless you get the opportunity to buy, like, the Pro controller and or the camera, if that's really important to you, like, I would just avoid that.
Yep.
Until, like, it gets to, like, the first month after the Switch 2 comes out, and you can walk into your local Walmart, Target, GameStop, game holder of choice, and just buy one off the shelf. Because I would assume that these accessories and stuff, like, once you get past this first, like, ravenous period, you're going to see scalpers are not going to want to hold them and all this other stuff too.
Yeah.
So.
Scalping's going to be crazy. So let's make a pact right now. I'm going to order for myself for sure. And I'm going to try I'm going to have my Best Buy, my Walmart, and my Target open. All right. And then fingers crossed for the my Nintendo later on. But I'm going to have those 3 open. Between the 3 of us, if I'm going to order from all 3, and if either of you guys need the Switch, like you weren't able to pre-order, let me know. I will shift that one over to you guys, and we'll go through there. Same with you guys. All right. Same with you guys. Same with you guys. Okay. I'm not going to scalp this shit. I was going to just order for myself. That's what I do with the original Switch, and I do with all my consoles. I just buy for myself. Even if I order 1 or 2, once I get one confirmed, I cancel it. And typically what I've done is when I get one if I pre-order at a bunch of places, like I will let those pre-orders go through to release day until when I get a tracking number, then I'll cancel the orders for the other ones. Like I will make sure, okay, tracking number, cool, canceled. And then that is a second tip that I want to give you guys is that I've been reading up on is just because you're not you may not get one this first day, don't worry. Keep trying again because people are constantly canceling their pre-orders, especially later in the day. Like go back throughout the day and keep trying to pre-order because people are going to cancel theirs and then it's going to go back into the system and it could take up to 24 hours sometimes. So you're going to have through the weekend to keep clipping along and then all the way through to that day because monetarily, who knows what's going to happen? People may not even have jobs probably.
And I'd also like to point out is that you also don't need a Switch 2.
Yeah, that is the other thing.
Like
you know what?
Let's
just tell everybody. Nobody order a Switch 2. Just stop. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Sam.
Yeah. This isn't me.
Everybody else, no. Just stuff. Just
it's
horrible.
Don't get a
Switch
like
2.
there is like you have absolutely 100% reason to not order this thing. Like Mario Kart, if Mario Kart and Mario doesn't do it for you, like absolutely. And again, right now, the only games that we know about that are unique to this platform are Mario Kart and Donkey Kong. And you don't have to keep up with Nintendo fanboys. Mario Kart 8 is still in like the top like 10 to 20 sales like monthly.
There you go.
Like people will be playing Mario Kart 8 or this Mario Kart Worlds when the next Switch 3 comes out or whatever the successor is. So like you got plenty of time to play Mario Kart.
Unfortunately, Sam, if you don't have a Switch 2 by this fall and we can't give you review codes for it, then you just don't get to be on the site anymore.
Listen, I just don't want people to like be out there listening to this thinking that like you're gonna miss out on the world if you don't try to fight people for the Switch 2. Like this isn't like the release of Halo or whatever. Exactly. I'm like there aren't going to be people outside grilling hot dogs at a Best Buy. I don't think
for the midnight launch. There probably will. I remember the Switch 2 midnight launch at my local Best Buy, and that was nuts. I'm sorry, Switch 1. That was a good time. There were people camping, even though I'm like, why are you camping? They're only selling the pre-orders. You don't have to. You're gonna get one. But there was like they had a band going and everything. So yeah, there were hot dogs. I'm okay with that. There's a McDonald's in the same plaza, so you know I'm gonna be getting. I've
only done 2 midnight launches in my entire life, and it was Vice City with my friend and the Wii. Those are the only.
Did I do the Wii? I think I did the Wii midnight launch. My wife and I went and picked up the Wii when I think we had seen James Bond earlier in the day, whatever the Bond movie was that weekend that opened that weekend. So we saw that, and then we went to the midnight launch and picked up our Wii from Toys R Us.
It was when it came out.
No, I didn't. No, I did not do that. I'm sorry. No, I didn't do that. I did the Wii U midnight launch. Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
At Walmart.
Okay, so
nice.
the cool thing, so like with the Wii, I had to wait in front of Target at like I forget, they weren't doing midnight launches. They were doing like I was in line at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and they were I got it. Yes, and I did get Red Steel. It is true.
So first of all, Exaggeramoose, if you wait in the back room of Walmart for 8 hours for a Wii, I mean, they have restrooms everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know why you waited 8 hours.
They're typically really close to where the back room doors are.
Peed in the bushes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Wii U, I remember Target did it if you went to Target, you might find a pre-order card on the shelf, and that was how they just did. They were just randomly there.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I went into Target one time and they had the Wii U, a black, the one with the bigger hard drive in it. It's like okay,
I remember.
sick.
Yeah, I remember going to get the Wii U. I was all excited. I pre-ordered, by the way. Yeah, I love that. Weird vibes in that last one. I went and got the Wii U. I went to pick it up. And I'm like, oh man, here we go. I was at the Walmart and I walk in. I'm like, I'm here to pick up the Wii. I'm in line. I was like the second person in line before the midnight launch. And I think they were releasing them on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Back then. So it was like a Friday night. I was all excited. Let's do this. And I'm second in line at like 11 or like 10 o'clock. I'm like, all right, I'm nice and early. And then like 2 more people show up behind me, like by 11:30. I'm like, all right, people are going to start showing up now, right? That was it. That was the only people that showed up midnight launch. And the guy wheels out the big pallet of like Wii U's and starts stacking them. I'm like, wow, are these all the pre-orders? There's like 25, 30 of them. He's like, no, there were only like 4 or 5 pre-orders.
Yeah.
I'm like,
no,
okay.
At my Target, I remember very specifically for the Wii U, they only got in 5.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I had a pre-order. And when I went there to pick up mine, I'm just kind of slowly sauntering through, and there were 2 dudes racing to the back.
Oh,
and
nice.
It was almost a fight. Like, I'm just chill. I'm just walking out. You can tell that also me just casually getting the Wii U was making them both angrier because only one of them was going to get one because it was the only one that wasn't pre-ordered. Like, out of the 5, 4 of them were pre-ordered.
Yep.
And for what? What did I get on launch day? Mario and
Nintendo Land, man. Oh, you got Black Ops? Okay. Yeah, Nintendo Land, and I think I got Mario and Zombie U. I got Zombie U.
Nintendo Land would have given you the wrong impression that system was going to be sick.
I was like, oh shit, this looks great. Yeah, go to sleep or happy settings. I understand, Martin. Yep.
Boy, howdy.
Oh boy, for sure. Yeah, I do not want to be upset. Like going to bed. The problem is that, by the way, Thursday is freaking bring your child to work day. So I'm either going to be extremely tired but happy, or extremely, extremely tired and sad and have to drive the hour to the freaking office. Yeah, it was a killer app. Yeah,
it was like the Wii U only had a couple of things that you could possibly consider a killer app, and
right.
That was one of them.
They're all on the Switch now, except for like two. But so that'll be
Devil's Third is not on the Switch yet.
It's tomorrow night. So it's funny. I keep thinking it's Thursday. And I'm like, no, it's tomorrow night. So get your coffee ready. We'll do a check-in maybe over the weekend or just message about it. But one last little bit of news that I wanted to cover. I really hope you weren't launching a game this week, because there are plenty of games getting launched, indies and smaller games, and then you have the Switch 2 pre-orders and Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered decided to show up today.
Yeah.
And it looks like Oblivion. It looks good. There's horse armor.
123 gigabytes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of chonky.
Well, it's a
Oh,
game
Lord.
with a wrapper around it. Essentially, is what it is.
Yeah,
It's Oblivion running with Unreal Engine on top of
let's
it.
say it's Oblivion running in UE5 is like, okay, well, I'm sure this thing's gonna be nice and smooth.
Yeah, it's interesting that we're in the era where old games like Oblivion, which used to fit on like half a CD,
Half a DVD,
half a DVD, are now so much freaking space,
uncompressed 4K assets, black audio.
Yeah, so okay, good. I'm excited for you. I haven't downloaded it yet, so I'm looking forward to playing it. But yeah. Oh, download the Best Buy. Yes, you do those. Back to the Nintendo stuff. Definitely get all that stuff ready. So save it in your shopping cart if you can. Some of the places won't let you actually put it in your cart until Nintendo. I'm sorry, Best Buy especially. They have like a countdown app.
Yeah, they got those drops and stuff.
They have the drops, and so you'll log in and it'll put you in a queue, and then you'll be able to buy it, hopefully.
Target's
definitely if you can.
Target's entire system is a mess, so good luck if you're trying to target your.
But if you get in the cart, for sure. Anyways, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion Remastered, and it only shows up in a deluxe edition, right? It's Oblivion Remastered Deluxe Edition with everything, right? It's not like there's not two versions of it, is there?
There's like the standard version, and then there's like an upgraded version that gives you like specific DLC or something like that. But all of the like the Shivering Isles and all that stuff is included. Yeah, all the the DLC that was originally in the game is included.
Yeah, horse armor, baby.
The horse armor is in the deluxe edition.
Yeah, I think the deluxe edition does have a special horse armor.
So that is bonus
that
quest.
Is like a joking inclusion.
Yeah. But the standard edition is the game and the 2 DLC expansions that they included.
So the other stuff is just a few little bonuses if you want to. Yeah. So hey, it still looks like Oblivion. This was comfort food for a lot of people. This game started, and network's kind of running kind of slow here.
Yeah, my most knowledgeable thing of Oblivion is just watching people play Oblivion, and also started my hatred for never wanting myself to ever play like a Bethesda game moving forward. And honestly, I'm interested in trying this just because of how well Avowed landed with me. And I know it's that's not this team and. This isn't, but I've heard rumor that this means that this same treatment may be coming to Fallout 3 next. If that's the case, I would like to at least see if I should be excited about that. And I think Oblivion is maybe where that testing ground is for me. So I have it downloaded. I'm willing to try it. But the most I know about Oblivion the first time is that you could duplicate items by somehow switching out arrows and shooting them and also dropping the item at the same time. I think was the way to duplicate items. And my friend could no longer enter one town because he put too much cheese in the center of town, and it basically crashed anytime he walked in. So
nice.
It's always hard to remember. This is the game that saved the Xbox brand.
It really did. Yeah, it did. This is because they were in a low point, right? And all of a sudden this comes out.
If Halo was the only thing that they really had that was a hit, and that's not enough to move enough consoles, and then they dropped this bad boy on the 360, and it was because Morrowind was a hit as well on the OG Xbox, but not Morrowind. Yeah, Morrowind.
Morrowind,
right?
Morrowind. And then because this game set up with the popularity of this game, it set up Skyrim. People, the minute they announced Skyrim, folks lost their minds because it was this game, and then Fallout 3 came after.
Fallout, then
and then Skyrim. Yeah, Skyrim 11. And Skyrim came out, and everything kind of led up to Skyrim. But this was you're right. This basically saved Xbox because they didn't really have. I mean, PlayStation had all the Japanese RPGs, and there really wasn't a big Western RPG push outside of PC at the time. So this came out, and then all of a sudden you started hearing like BioWare and a bunch of other companies were like, I'm going to make games, I'm going to fast track some of these projects, and it really did usher in a whole new era.
Yeah, like, is there a Mass Effect without
right.
Oblivion? Probably not.
Right.
So.
But yeah, it's out. Sorry to anybody that dropped their game today or yesterday or planning on doing it this week, because 123 gigs and folks are downloading and they're gonna just get lost 100 hours into this sucker and enjoy their
and
their week or two.
A lot of people talking of, like, there's discourse around remasters and like just play the old game, and it's just like, well, I mean, I think I said it on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
We're deep in the weeds. We don't consume games like normal people consume games.
Yeah.
A lot of people that have no way of playing Oblivion.
Yeah.
To this, I know more people that have they have a Switch or they have a PlayStation 5 and their computer absolutely cannot do much of anything, and I'm not going to waste my hard drive with 2006's Oblivion, or whatever.
No, for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's why this is actually coming out at a very smart time. By the way, not announced for the Switch 2. It was announced for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox and PC and Game Pass because it's launching today. I'm still gonna assume this will probably come out on Switch 2. Because Skyrim did, but it's a similar story with the Switch 2 where people bought the original Switch, like kids that were like 8-9 years old bought the original, got the original Switch, and now it's been 8 years, so those kids are like 16, 17, 18, now finally getting into stuff like Cyberpunk and Oblivion and Skyrim, and the Souls likes. The Switch 2 is kind of launching at the right time for a lot of these kids. So, I think Oblivion. I'll download it. I got Game Pass I got Game Pass for this, for Blueprints, and for Indie, and so let's get rocking with it.
Yeah, and to their credit, this isn't one of the ones that they just released over and over and over again. It just sort of had its main release and some great Game of the Year editions later on, and that just kind of that's it with it. And then once Skyrim came out, this game was left in the dust.
People forgot about it. They forgot about it. But we've been playing other games. None of us have played Oblivion yet, but we have played other things. I want to get into some of the games that we have been playing, and I know Sam has we were just talking about racing games, Sam.
Yeah.
And the
website's #1 racist here with
#1 racist.
I don't want that quote said out loud ever again.
You have been playing a racing game. Sam, I have to restart this. I have to know where to cut it. Hey Sam, you've been playing a racing game known as Drive Rally.
Yes, Drive Rally. I believe the follow-up to a game just called Drive, a mobile game, and this is a PC game, or at least that's where I played it on Steam. And yes, it is a classically styled rally racing game. Goes over a bunch of different courses, has your typical sort of campaign style racing, and then also has a sort of free roam mode, and time trials and daily time trials and stuff like that. I didn't like it.
Oh no.
Unfortunately the driving isn't great. It sort of you can sort of feel its mobile pedigree, if you want to say that. It doesn't feel much like you're driving, just more that you're influencing something to go left and right. It's got transitions onto different surfaces don't feel great, and that's kind of problematic when you're talking about a rally racing game. I do like the idea of what they're doing. They sort of have this world set up. So let's say the first location, I can't think of the names of locations right now, but let's say the first location is a wilderness, forest type area. And so they sort of build this open world map And then they sort of set these campaign races through these different sections of the map. So almost a little bit kind of like what Mario Kart is doing, because you're not racing between different locations, you're racing just these sort of just rally checkpoints in what is then just this open world section of the map. So like I think that's like a cool design, but the sort of the problem is a lot of that then features a lot of going from sort of a tarmac surface to a snowy surface, or a deserty surface, a dirt surface. And like the grip levels don't feel great on any of them. They don't really feel like, again, that you're really like sort of driving the car, or the physics are sort of being applied to what the car is. There's also certain corners that are easy to cut. And I don't mean that in sort of like a gain time way. I mean, in terms of sort of ignore that it's a corner and just like go around it. It does kind of catch you on some of those things, but there are certainly corners. And if you look at the leaderboards, there are certainly certain courses that is being taken advantage of. The open world thing is nice. There's collectibles and stuff in that. So you can kind of like run your own courses or run your own kind of setups in there and get a sort of feel for how the different cars could feel in that area while you're sort of exploring, and then also gaining these items to then unlock this to the next sort of level for these open worlds. But there's really not much other than that. So it's sort of, if the driving doesn't grab you right off the bat, there's really not going to be much that sort of pulls you through the rest of it. So yeah, it comes down to sort of the handling, especially in a racing game that is supposed to be styled after like fictional areas and has to use fictional car licenses and stuff like that. It sort of just relies on that being its selling feature, and unfortunately Drive Rally just doesn't meet the sort of standards that I would say that make for a good driving game. It does support steering wheel, so if you're looking for a sort of like arcadey racing game that you're not really looking for force feedback, that does have that feature available for it. But other than that, it's just hard to recommend when there's a lot of like, I feel like we're going through a lot of these retro style rally games right now. Like, I don't know, that open world, I just don't think is enough to sort of set it apart from what a bunch of these other ones are doing. And I mean, it's unfair to it that like parking garage circuit like existed last year. And we also reviewed what was it, Retro Rally, I believe.
Retro Rally, yeah.
And it just doesn't show the same amount of polish, I guess, as something like those titles do.
And this is finally the full release. It's been in early access for a minute.
Yeah, it's been in some level of early access on Steam, but I've been playing the 1.0 release.
Okay. Okay. Well, you've been trying to play the 1.0 release.
Yes, yeah. Well, I've played through a lot of the 1.0 release.
Yeah. It's just I know the first game had it was unique because it had a very intentional polygonal style and I say intentional in terms of they were really trying to minimize a lot of stuff, and there was like a lot of like polygons and voxels and just basic geometry. Very
the video game version of lo-fi.
Exactly. And it worked for what it was, because you went into it thinking this is, and I think I played on the Switch. You went in thinking this, I know what I'm getting with this, and this has visually it's a little more like higher def, but it just feels, from what you're saying, it kind of sounds like it doesn't do anything special to warrant the bump in visual quality.
Yeah, stylistically, I think it has like a pretty good thing going for it. Like, it definitely is like angled to be that sort of retro like aesthetic. And they are angling it to be a rally racer. There is like team calls, right? Guys telling you like left 3 and stuff like that. I don't know how useful or relevant a lot of that information is. and those callouts. And also, for some strange reason, the game also, every time I launched it by default, kept moving the co-pilot's voices to the emotional setting. There's like a standard and then like emotional and angry setting, and for some reason it always switched it to the emotional setting by default instead of the standard one. So again, the call outs weren't great, but it's for what it's going for, it's certainly got that. But yeah, we've sort of been, there's sort of been that sort of renaissance of retro style, specifically rally racing games. And they're, being in that market right now, there just isn't enough there to separate it from those.
All right. You have been playing another game?
Yes, a game that is still in early access, released into early access. Asgard's Fall, Viking Survivors, or a Vampire Survivor, which I'm now terming as Vamps moving forward.
I like that, Vamps. Yeah. Okay.
So yes, it is a Vamp style game. Okay, yep, you got a trailer. Cool. Yeah. So it's sort of a pixel art vampire survival vamp style game where you are playing more with Norse mythology, obviously, as Asgard's Fall might suggest. But it has a very cool sort of leveling and class system, I guess. I guess it's not really a class system. There seems to be 3 sort of standard archetypes that you can play: a physical melee character with a sword, a bow and arrow character, and sort of like an elemental magic character, I guess. And you get put in these specific arenas, and with all these games, you get waves of different varying types of enemies with different attack patterns and dangerous things. And after you level, you get either the role of a different item or weapon to use for your character. So you might get a spear that lands in an area and does impact damage, and then also radiates electricity in that area. And then you might get one that throws ice spheres around you in a circle and can freeze people on impact. And then there's different sort of leveling things that you can get for each one of those. But then the other thing is you might also get the ability to put, I think they call them knots, into this sort of grid. And these knots do specific character upgrades. And it might be, increase your attack speed or make a crit chance higher. And you might also get a knot that then can multiply those advantages. But then you also might get knots that once you get enough buffs from the sort of other buffs that you get, those knots give you an extra sort of boost that's, okay, now every time you dash, you leave a fire trail behind you. Or, now if you have 2 different lightning type of attacks, anytime those 2 lightning attacks go off near each other, chain lightning will come between them. So it does actually like a really like sort of really creative systems and a more sort of like dedicate your build while you're sort of building things down. And it's less, you're still kind of leaving it to random, but it allows you sort of to make up for the deficits in that randomness in a way that something like Vampire Survivors didn't really. There's no co-op, still single player. There's 3 maps so far. I've only been on the first 2. And the first one definitely has these pillars that if you stand under for a long enough time, you can get a sort of buff, and they randomly spawn over time. And yeah, it's I like it actually a lot better than Vampire Survivor. I think it's like a really strong time killer. The runs are a little bit shorter. They're about 20 minutes, where Vampire Survivors is about 30 minutes if you're doing it correctly. And after the first 10 minutes, you fight a mini boss. And if you can't beat that mini boss within 2 minutes or a minute and a half, then the rest of the monsters start spawning again. And then at the end of 20 minutes, then you fight a larger boss. And there's, advantages and level ups that you can take into future runs. There's a difficulty like sacrifice system where you can keep upping the difficulty, and you keep getting more different variations of weapon types and different things. There's also a rune system where you get like not permanent upgrades, but items drop in the maps, and then you sort of lay them out on a grid. And they have different levels of rarity, and those things can basically give you like very large advantages going in. So like, 50% to your attack speed and stuff as you start, or like lifesteal, vampirism on your elemental attacks and stuff like that, a boost to like 100% of your, times electric damage and stuff like that. So, it's really interesting. I think if you're a super math nerd about those sort of systems, you can really get in there and like come up. Oh yeah, there's the sort of like war paint system.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Nice.
Yeah, it has like a lot of stuff to sort of mess around with, and clearly like I haven't at least seen a roadmap. I could be wrong, they may have posted one, but just in game they have definitely slots for way more maps upcoming, and I think this trailer even that we've been watching specifically mentions that there will be other character types and stuff coming also. So yeah, it's if you're into those Vampire Survivor games, what is it, Bartro, I think is the other one. What's the potato one? I never remember what that one's called.
Rotato? I don't know.
Rotato? It might be. I don't know. Rotato. Yeah, there's
one of Johnny's absolute favorite games. I've always seen him Rotato.
This if Johnny was here, I would highly recommend Johnny to check this one out.
These kinds of games, strong. They have to do something different, because you've actually reviewed a couple in the past too, which are like, okay, it's trying something a little bit new, but they're still kind of working through some stuff. So anytime these games do something unique and fun, I think that is, you can still have that backbone, but give me something fresh to go into, because I don't just want a reskinned Vampire Survivors. I want ideas like this where you're actually, doing the war paint and the tattoo or whatever, the runes and all that kind of stuff. I think it's a really cool, it's a cool idea. So
yeah, and I mean, we talked about before at actually PAXs where it's like, sometimes it feels like a lot of these games come out and it's, it ends up being like, oh, it's this, but with co-op, or it's this, but now you can play with 8 people, or like this feels like it's like, no, it's Vampire Survivors. Like we're not, we're literally have the Viking Survivors as a subtext on Steam. Like we're not playing around. Like it's just it's just our cool version of that. We hope you like it. So
Sweet.
I've been really enjoying it so far. Perfect Steam Deck game.
Excellent. Very cool. JJ, you have played a game. You played several games, but the game that you have played now, I want to bring it up because you are decked out in sports paraphernalia right now. You're actually
throwback
dressed.
Steve Largent Seahawks jersey.
Nice, Steve Largent. Good Lord, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. So sports. I want to give you the accolades for talking about sports.
Hey, remember earlier when I was talking about how you used to rent games on the weekend?
Yeah.
How about a collection of games that were strictly games you rented? You never owned a single one of these, but you definitely rented a game out of the Accolade Sports Collection that was just recently released by Qbyte Games and Atari. Qbyte Interactive.
Yes.
This is a collection of 5 retro 16-bit, and they're not allowed to say Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
16-bit sports games. It's kind of cool because sports games kind of get overlooked when it comes to these collections. They kind of just they're just like, nobody. The sports games are always the $2 games in the clearance bin kind of thing. It's just that nobody. Does anybody really have fond memories of the sports games? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
This comes with Hardball 2, Winter Games, Summer Games, and Hoops. Shut Up and Jam.
Hoops. Wait a minute.
Yeah. The completely IP-free update of Barkley, Shut Up and Jam. They just scrub him. They actually show the title screen, and like it's upsetting because you can see where they kind of like scrubbed Charles Barkley's face off the guy, and then like replaced it with a generic man face.
Nice.
But this is exactly what the box reads. It is a collection of 5 Accolade sports games, and they've done very little to update anything on them.
Summer Challenge and Winter Challenge called that, or were they like?
Yes,
Summer
they were
Olympics?
not. They were not Olympics branded.
Okay,
back in the day. Yeah, they came out during the respective Olympic
They're
games.
just the most generic looking logos of all time.
Yeah. But
I remember playing Hardball. Hardball I actually did like.
I love Hardball. The one thing Hardball 2, I think, is an MS-DOS game. It's the only non-Genesis game that's in this collection. But I loved Hardball. There it is, official Hardball. Yeah, MS-DOS right there, baby.
Yeah.
Hardball 2. Again, everything's like this also came out unbranded, like initially. Like it was a baseball game, but it didn't have official teams. Yeah, here's Barclays. I'm sorry, Hoops. Shut Up and Jam. I would love to see somebody remake. Yeah, I would love to see somebody remake Barkley Shut Up and Jam 3 Gaiden, but like this generic version of it. No, these are fun games. They're really like charming little classic sports games. Really kind of they're working hard, man. These games are trying their best. They do not feel like cheap cop-outs of anything. Like for the time, these were decent popular games. Barkley Shut Up and Jam came out in a time of NBA Jam and held its own. Like people it was the same concept of like NBA Jam, but like more focused on like realistic rules.
Realistic,
but more realistic street ball, I guess you would say. Look at that face.
Wow.
Flooding. I hate it. It's terrible. This isn't the first time. They actually had previously that did that Barkley scrubbing because they re-released this game on one of those. What's those European EverDrives? Those
EverDrive.
There's an Accolade collection, and Hoops Shut Up and Jam / Barkley Shut Up and Jam came out on that, and it's that version of this. It's weird. Every once in a while, a game will come out that will be like a re-release of like an old branded sports something, and they do this like weird scrubbing of things because like the NBA Jam cabinet and the NFL Blitz cabinets that Arcade One put out, like they don't have those rights anymore, so the games had to be like super modified to do stuff. There was like you remember those plug and play controllers?
Had the games on there. Yeah.
They did one for WWF Steel Cage Challenge where they removed like Hulk Hogan, but then added characters. It was so weird. And this so that's what the Bart Hoops thing reminds me of. It's but I mean they're all very simple titles from the time. I mean this archery game is like the first thing I played on this thing. I booted it up and it's every video game, you could tell every sports game is based off of the same concept of hold button, slightly aim, release button. Every sports game. And kind of everything that's on this is based around that sort of simple, even like the horse racing or, the basketball, baseball, whatever it is. I think Hardball's the best games on the collection. It's a really good sports game, really good baseball game that still kind of holds up pretty well in terms of like playing the game of baseball.
Sure.
Does a really good job of being a simmy baseball game. Probably one of the best from the time.
They definitely did not mocap, by the way. They did not mocap.
There's none. It's fun. Rewind it just a little bit and watch how much Barkley Shut Up and Jam is animated like NBA Jam.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Everything. It is NBA Jam, but stripped down, less wacky.
So
there's no bonuses. There's no bonuses.
There's nothing else. It's just the games and some achievements.
Just games apparently. With some. I mean, if on Steam, I'm playing it on Steam. You get some achievements.
Okay.
It's got rewind, which is kind of pointless in a sports game. Like I expect that from like a platforming game of the time or whatever, but like putting a rewind feature in a sports game,
it's just a direct way to cheat. Like that's all it is.
It really is.
It's weird. But there's nothing special. It's got all the CRT filters. you'd expected. Oh, we got borders, but like I want concept art. I always say,
give us something cool.
Things, give me something like those the Digital Eclipse has sort of set the bar for retro game collections, and I mean this is a first time release for like Cubite Interactive and stuff for this kind of thing. So I don't even know if they would have access to any of the old promo materials. And what do you do? But one of the game, like did they get it from some of these people? I doubt it. I still like that Accolade never stopped existing decades ago, really. And Accolade, was not for nothing, was a massive studio back in the 90s. Like they it's built on the backbone of Jack Nicholas, the golfer, because they had like 12
I remember
golf games, and they were so good.
Yeah.
I wish one of those was on this. Like
Hoops Golf.
Yeah, Hoops Golf. Because like you can't give me promo materials for everything that's in this game because one of the games is like bastardized,
So who is this collection for, you would say?
Me.
Just you specifically.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you grew up, I think you really have to have grown up in that, because nobody's going to be turned into a fan of these games by picking this up now. You have to be a man of a certain age, grew up during the 16-bit console wars. Sega had the best sports games. That's just sort of the fact of the matter when it comes to this stuff, and this is a good collection of why Sega had some of the best sports games. It's stuff like this. They did a really good job at making the sports feel like the appropriate sports. The Olympic Games are kind of boring, but that's not to say that they didn't, like, the games themselves weren't well put together to represent weird little sports like horseback riding and skiing and archery. I like the archery game and stuff on there. It's fun. The skiing stuff has like for something that doesn't have rumble or force feedback or anything, like you get a good sense of weight and weight distribution and stuff out of these. They did really good jobs on these sports games, but like again, these, if you've never played these before, you're gonna get nothing out of this. It's just at the end of the day, that's just how this particular collection works, because they're also not historic. Maybe Barkley Shut Up and Jam, but it's not Barkley Shut Up and Jam. It's Hoops Shut Up and Jam. You strip away one of the most important aspects of the fact that it was the Charles Barkley video game. That was sort of the selling factor, and so you don't get that history that goes along with playing something this old at this style of game. So I think if you grew up during the 16-bit era, this is a really fun collection to get. It's really, you immediately know how to play the games, even if you haven't played them in 30 years or whatever. But
a muscle memory will come right back.
Come right back. Even not even that muscle memory. If you didn't even play these games back in the day and you pick them up, like they play like a Sega Genesis game. Your body just instinctually knows how to play any game on this set. I didn't read the instruction manuals, and I'm immediately like, there's 3 to 6 buttons, and only do so much. So, I like it, but again, it's a, like, if we had a reviewing system, we're looking like 2.5 out of 5 stars, kind of
right down the middle. Just right gets the job done as to what a collection is, I guess.
It's the bare bones minimum. I'll give it half a star extra because it is a unique concept for a collection. Old sports games. That's a weird.
That's true. That would actually be really fun. That's something that we've talked about in the past. Like, you lose sports games because so much of it is licensed, right? You're not gonna. I remember it being a big deal when like NHL '94 came back. Like,
when it was a pre-order bonus.
It was a pre-order bonus, and that was really cool. But like, it wasn't the same game, because it's with
the modern roster.
And so you lose a lot of that kind of stuff with sports games. I mean, it's great to see them collecting these types of things. I'd love to see a full collection of all those, we can talk later on, but give me like a full collection of the Jordan versus Bird and Bird versus Man. Those games that came out before NBA Showtime and all that.
The absolute worst version of that happens where you get the Halo Master Chief collection of Madden from like 94 to like 2006.
Yeah.
Like a Madden collection though really would be
oh boy, somebody wants to play the Dallas versus Green Bay in 2004. Sick.
So Accolade, cool.
It gets the job done, but I wish it did more. So
I'm playing some games. I don't want to talk about them. I'll probably talk on the next episode. But I do want to open up more Pokemon cards here. Booster. I finally got some Pokemon cards. You finally got some Pokemon cards. I finally
was able to get what's not
Surging Sparks or the Prismatic or whatever.
Prismatic Evolutions. I finally found Prismatic Evolutions.
I've had this sitting in my here for like a month. Yeah. All right, here we go. I got I know people who are like, I got these. Yeah. Go ahead.
Months after Prismatic Evolutions came out, and now that there's Travel Together or whatever the hell.
Journeys Together, Travel Together. Yeah. Which is funny because Surging Sparks is still like now it's finally coming back into like you can kind of buy it. But anyways, again Temporal Forces and Twilight Masquerade. Let's open Twilight Masquerade first. See what we got here. See if I can open it without. What's that?
I said ASMR.
Ripping and tearing.
Yeah. The wild women, the ripping and the tearing.
The ripping and the tearing. So we will start. Whoop, here you go. We'll start with the other side, correct? That's the
very back. The very back is going to be
the nice stuff.
Nice stuff.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it'll go from the back. It goes your code card, your energy, your whatever your rare is. Unless you got a special.
Get the energy. I'll get the energy card out of there. Okay, so
unless there's like a special rare in there, then they'll kind of seed it one early sometimes.
First card. It is Lampent.
I think that was your first card last time too.
Maybe.
Or it was Chandelure or something.
Chandelure. Next, let me enlarge my stupid face here so you guys can see a little bit better.
It's more so.
Next.
Guys, I can't tell. Is that the fucking? Yeah, it's that weirdo.
Yeah.
Yep.
The matcha.
Ducklet.
Oh, dweeb.
Love Ducklet. It's a silly little guy.
Ninetales. All time classic.
Like it. Yeah.
I hate this guy. I hate
Glallybor.
Kilowattrel, yeah.
Kilowattrel, not bad.
Takes us a minute to. Oh, Brute Bonnet.
I like that. I kind of like the art on this card. Actually, it's kind of interesting.
It's actually, it's the weird,
ancient.
Yeah, it's this weird temporal, like misplaced, pre-evolutionary book. Is that a reverse hollow Applin? Yeah, reverse hollow Applin.
Like it.
Nice.
I like it. Cool. Yeah. All right, 2 more left.
All right, got your reverse hollow.
Chandelure again. Dude, you jinxed me. And the last of this set.
Just a foil. Heatran? Yeah.
Heatran. All right, let me open up the Temporal Forces now. That was Twilight Masquerade. Funny enough, we were all asking each other in the Discord, anybody want my code card? And just a sea of nope. No thanks. Nope.
I redeemed them just to open some packs.
Yeah, I might do that just on the TCG Live.
Just to feel something.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish they had the animation of Pokemon Pocket because that's an awesome slice.
And when I opened a pack and it was like, oh, this sucks. Where's my Pokemon Tears Pocket?
You just hit refresh on a web browser.
Yeah. All right, come on here. Come on, Dolly.
Jeez, first time? Christ.
Get it together.
I know. At least I wasn't late. Just kidding. I was late. All right, here we go. Start. Code card. Fire. Okay.
I finally got some hollow energy. I've had the worst luck with. Hey, I love Victini. I love
nice.
Victini.
Yeah, cool little character.
Yeah.
Bronzor.
Mudbray. Stupid mud donkey.
Little donkey.
Yeah, Ghastly, one of my boys.
Ghastly, one of your boys.
Mist energy.
Ooh. I don't know if I had a mist energy in a while. Another cool one. Another
Sandy Shocks. Yeah, another one of those weird.
I like those ancient ones. All right, 4 left.
All right.
Ooh, I like that guy. A little mushroom dude.
Yeah, a little mushroom guy.
It's like a mushroom / like African totem kind of.
Yeah, it's neat. 3 left.
I hate Pineco.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Pinecone.
Stepping
Can't
on
even
them
spell
on
the
way
full
work.
name. All right, 2 left.
Ooh, full art.
Yeah,
hell
look at
yeah.
that.
Cutie Fly.
That's
Nice.
Cutie Fly.
Cutie Fly.
That's
That's
a
actually
good
really
full art.
It is beautiful art.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What number is it on the bottom? Like
172 out of 162.
the higher that number gets away from the top, the more likely.
Yeah. You got sleeves over there, or you just raw dogging your cards?
He's just raw dogging him, my friend.
I got some sleeves. I'll put them in. I'll put them in.
He's got
the
a
glasses. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Dunsparce. You get like 6, 7, 8 more of them. You get it's like the dun
Dunsparce.
Yeah, I'll put these in some sleeves. But yeah, there we go. That is where we're at. Pokemons. And I have a whole bin full of Pokemon cards that I haven't opened yet. So maybe I'll like open them just like not even care, just start ripping shit open.
Cutie, your full art Cutie Fly is at $8. So.
Okay, that just paid for one of the packs. That's good.
There you go. Yeah,
nice. And that's it. You can find us at SideQuesting.com. We're gonna try to pre-order the Switch 2 tomorrow night. I'm sure we'll have a story of that. I got to figure out how to get these to my nephews and pretend like it's something special. I don't know. You guys want a pencil case? I'll take it to work. Bring your child to work day and just give it out to a couple kids.
Yeah, you fill it with Skittles. They'll be thrilled.
Ooh, Skittles. SideQuesting.com, SideQuesting TV on YouTube and Twitch. SideQuesting.com on Blue Sky. You can find me at diedemowski.com at Blue Sky. _J Booski. Sam is Endless Booski. And hop in the Discord because that is where the magic happens. And again, I wanted to one last time, because I forgot to do at the very beginning. I'm a jerk. I want to thank our executives, Tom Johnson and Punctified. You guys are awesome. Definitely want to thank the producers, Stefan Swanlin, Zero the Prototype, Exagenous, and Jeff Grubb. Thank you to all the other friends of the show and people just giving you thanks. It's very, very thankful, and you guys are awesome, and we love you, and you're helping us pay for the show to keep it going. And we got some codes. You are a Patreon member, and you have a PC that we need 4 people, including probably me. So 3 other people to try a game that we got some codes for, so we can give it a shot. And
all of us were like, eh.
Now you guys are okay. So we'll talk more about that to the Patreon folks who have PCs and want to play interesting looking horror-ish game. Anywho, that's it. We'll see you on the next episode of the Side Quest. Bye-bye.